is Ryan at Competition Clutch, and we're going to go over adjustment on the hydraulic clutch system on Honda and Acuras using our 2003 Acura RSX. We are starting out here with the clutch adjustment as it would have been from the factory, which will be typical of what most will see. We're outlining this as something that will be required by most that install an aftermarket clutch that requires more travel to get it to release. We're going to start out on this car by using a 14mm wrench and removing the jam nut on our cruise control cancel switch on the clutch assembly. Remove the wiring, loosen the jam nut, take that sensor completely back until the end of the threads here on the sensor are even with the bracket, but with the sensor still protruding out, so when the clutch pedal comes back it will still contact and close that switch. We're going to spin the jam nut down, snug that up, we can reinstall the connector. Next, we are going to go up to the actual push rod on the master cylinder with a 12mm, loosen the jam nut. A little pressure held on the clutch pedal to make it easier to spin. We're going to adjust this rod out so we are making it longer. And from the position we are at, that takes spinning the rod clockwise. We are going to adjust that out first until we see that the clutch pedal is allowed to push this switch all the way back, which we see here. It's contacting with a little bit of slack, and then we are going to adjust this rod out further until we have tension on that rod. We are going to be continuing to adjust this to achieve maximum travel at the clutch. So we are going to adjust this in about a turn, and then we are going to check on the transmission on the slave cylinder to make sure that it will still travel inward to push fluid back into the master cylinder when the clutch pedal is at its full release position. After the initial adjustment of the clutch pedal, go under the hood of your car and check that the slave cylinder is able to be compressed all the way back with a little bit of effort by hand to make sure that the hydraulic system will return properly. All that is on the Hondas and Acuras are just to push the clutch fork back, make sure that the slave travels with a little bit of resistance. In our case, that the clutch slave cylinder was able to be easily pushed back and allow the fluid to flow back into the master. We have achieved the proper adjustment with no slop in this linkage. However, if you do overextend this and you are not able to push the rod back, gradually adjust the rod back shorter until the slave is able to be pushed back, and then go another half of a turn back in. Once you achieve your proper adjustment, you'll simply tighten down the jam nut again, and you should be able to see a lot more travel at your clutch and a better release position with a upgraded clutch.